What's up, YouTubers? It's Ernie, Blerd Without Fear. Welcome back to the channel. And you know what? Since February, I kind of fell off a little bit because, we had to get back into that White Knight. We had to get back in that Dark Knight's Metal. And now, I picked back up Crisis on Infinite Earths and tried to touch on some of these other characters. And I'm still behind on everything. I don't think I'll ever actually be caught up. But I made time for this one because I said I would do it and I was really looking forward to it. So let's just go ahead and do it. We're going to be talking about Adam Brashear, Marvel Comics' own Blue Marvel. Probably one of the few new characters to actually get any real traction in the Marvel Universe outside of Miles Morales, Kamala Khan, so on and so forth. So the question is, who is Blue Marvel? Well, let's just go ahead and break down the simple stuff. Blue Marvel got his first appearance in Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel, #1, back in November of 2008. He was created by Kevin Grevioux, and I'm probably butchering the name, but hey, it's what I do. And some of you may remember him as the Black Lycan, Raze, in the Underworld series, which he also wrote the original screenplay for. I didn't know that till I was actually doing research for this character. He's also done acting in other sci-fi franchises, and this goes back for a long time. He actually had minor roles in series like Star Trek: The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. He's also done a lot of direct-to-video and, for lack of a better word for it, low-budget horror and sci-fi movies. He also created the I, Frankenstein franchise. The comic, I want to say he also helped write the screenplay for the movie based on those comics, and also had a minor role in that as well. But anyways, we're not here to talk about Kevin Grevioux, we're here to talk about Blue Marvel. As the Blue Marvel, Adam Brashear, if you go back and read Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel, one of the first things you'll probably notice is, that don't look like Blue Marvel. That's because he used to wear a full face helmet, but when it was damaged in battle, his identity was revealed. There was a massive controversy as the era of 1962 was too racist to accept a black superhero. Personally, President Kennedy, he actually approved of Adam Brashear's actions, but he had to ask Adam to step down as the Blue Marvel because people just couldn't wrap their skulls around the idea of a black superhero back in the 60s. You see, one of the things you have to remember about Blue Marvel is that he was retconned into Marvel's history because he didn't exist back in 1962, considering the fact that he was created in 2008. But the way that Kevin Grevioux wrote him, he wanted him to be one of those characters who was at the forefront of the Marvel superhero comic boom. He just kind of stayed in the background, back of the bus and all that. Real quick, let's jump in his origin, which really isn't all that convoluted. So after Adam graduated from Cornell University, magna cum laude, and also spending some time in the US Marine Corps during the Korean War, he later went on to pursue scientific matters, trying to harness antimatter through the creation of a negative reactor. This was something that actually led to the negative zone being able to connect with the positive matter universe. This was basically an opportunity which led to almost finding a near unlimited source of clean energy by harnessing a stable event horizon, balance between both positive and negative matter universes. But as one would expect, these things don't always pan out, and it caused an explosion, which led to both Adam Brashear and his best friend Connor Sims being subjected to mutagenic radiation. This led to Brashear becoming a stable antimatter reactor and developing the superhuman abilities we now know him to have, but caused his best friend Connor Sims to be destroyed. But we know he didn't die. He actually became the Anti-Man, kind of like the flip side of the Blue Marvel. So you're probably asking, what the hell can Blue Marvel do? Like, what's his deal? I know I put in the title that he was the perfect mixture of Superman, Mr. Fantastic, and Black Excellence. Well, here, let's break that down. Adam Brashear has what, and those of you who have been following me for a while, I call this the Superhuman grab bag, where he has superhuman strength, superhuman speed, reflexes, stamina, senses, perception, all that stuff. Like, basically the basic stuff that just about any superhero would likely have. But let's break that down a little bit because it's actually not as simple as you would imagine. So his superhuman strength, The thing is with him is that he possesses superhuman strength that is so vast, he has actually been put on record as being able to move a meteor that was the size of the state of Arkansas. He's also been seen regularly lifting aircraft carriers and other large objects. And like any good superhero with superhuman strength, his uppermost limits are unknown. But it has been said that his strength easily equals the likes of a vastly enraged Hulk, and even matches the Sentry. As far as superhuman speed and reflexes go, Blue Marvel is able to think, move, and react at superhuman speeds. He's not necessarily like Quicksilver or Flash, fast, but he's not that far from it. Now, as for the superhuman stamina part of the superhuman grab bag of powers, his musculature is so efficient that he does not produce any fatigue toxins whatsoever. He basically has limitless stamina, to the point that he actually doesn't even have to eat or sleep. Like, he literally just sustains himself. And of course, the superhuman senses, this includes sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. I would say those senses are about on par with Daredevil, minus the radar sense. Okay, now let's jump into some of his other powers. He does actually have the power to fly, and this is done by manipulating gravitons and manipulation of the magnetic field to such a degree that he allows himself to move at levels that a normal human being couldn't even perceive. And one of the things he actually is on record of is that he can attain what they call escape velocity or escape speed, which is roughly 34 times the speed of sound. He can actually fly well beyond supersonic speeds, but it's not technically known if he can achieve speeds beyond the speed of light. Now, another thing that he has, and this is something that gets kind of downplayed a little bit because he is one of the smartest men on the planet. Like, he does actually rival Mr. Fantastic in terms of intelligence. And one of his things is that he does have enhanced mental perception. He can literally sense and comprehend things that are well beyond normal human capabilities. Okay, now let's get into some of the other fun stuff. He has invulnerability. And when I say that, I mean that he possesses nigh invulnerability and durability, which basically means he's damn near indestructible, but not quite. Being capable of withstanding some of the most hellacious impacts and forces, and he can survive exposure to temperature and pressure extremes. He's also been known to take on energy blasts without even sustaining injury. He's even withstood nuclear detonation without any apparent physical trauma, and is capable of surviving in the vacuum of space unaided. Now, you're probably thinking, for a guy that is nigh invulnerable, he probably doesn't need a regenerative healing factor, but guess what? He has one. It is technically possible to hurt him, but if he is injured, his body is capable of repairing damaged tissue with speed and efficiency greater than that of the normal human body. He's not necessarily Wolverine, but he does bounce back pretty quick. He also has the ability to generate and control negative matter energy based on antimatter. And he can even use this to create energy constructs, not unlike the Green Lantern, though this is a power you don't see him use very often. I also mentioned earlier he has great control over his own molecules, but I didn't mention that he can also affect other people's molecules. He was able to heal Monica Rambeau during their fight with, I believe it was Shumagorath. And not only that, he boosted her electromagnetic abilities to the point that she devastated Shumagorath. We don't know if this ability is only relegated to electromagnetic particles specifically, or if he can just affect all matter on Earth, but if it does, it would make him as potent as the Molecule Man, Owen Reese, and that's no small feat. Now, one of the things that we do know about Adam Brashear is that he considers himself to be a stable antimatter reactor. Now, something that he gives a little bit more explanation on himself is that what he appears to do is channel exotic particles generated by a stable event horizon caused by the interaction of opposing positive matter and negative matter universes. And when we think about that type of negative matter, think the negative zone. And there's even been some theories about quantum entanglement involved in Adam Brashear's own molecular structure. happening all the time. Another little small thing he can do is bioluminescence. He actually can emit light from his body, which is helpful in the dark. Now, another thing that we want to talk about is he's been on a couple of teams. He's been a member of the United States Marine Corps, hoo-ah, and he's also been a member of the Mighty Avengers. Not only that, he was a staple in the Ultimates, the recent incarnation, where we also saw him teamed up with not just the previous Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, but the current Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, as well as Black Panther and Miss America Chavez. To round this all out, let's jump into some accomplishments. The Blue Marvel has powers that allowed him to fight the Sentry, one of the most powerful beings on Earth. He also maintains a massive undersea headquarters in the Marianas Trench, and this location is known really only to Namor the Submariner. He possesses a PhD in theoretical physics and a Master's of Science degree in electrical engineering from Cornell University. And in 1962, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President John F. Kennedy on the day that the president asked him to retire. He also did something Reed Richards could never accomplish. He created a stable antimatter reactor, which is himself. Something that Reed Richards said was impossible. He's not been featured in much media outside of the mobile game Marvel Future Fight, which he is actually featured in, like heavily featured in when they announced him via the trailer. He was also featured in the Facebook game Marvel Avengers Alliance, and he was also in the Lego Marvel Avengers on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. He's also been featured on the 10th anniversary vinyl edition cover of Sufjan Stevens' album, Illinois. And I know what you're thinking, why would he be featured on somebody's album cover? Well, this was due to the fact that Blue Marvel is a native Chicagoan, and this replaced the original artwork that used to use Superman. So there you go. That's a big middle finger to Superman. But anyways, that's all I really had about Blue Marvel. He doesn't really have as extensive of a comic book history as some other characters, mostly because he's a relatively new character. So there's not really a whole heap of a lot of information out there about him, but I do highly recommend you read The Ultimates by Al Ewing and art by Kenneth Rocafort and Christian Ward. It's a pretty good run. I mean, it's definitely different because this is where they're dealing with cosmic level threats. Like, they are dealing with characters like Galactus, and they eventually end up tackling the Mad Titan himself, Thanos. But anyways, let me know what you think about the Blue Marvel. Sound off in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers, and tap that bell so you know when I post up. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you all hopefully next time. Plus Ultra.